Welcome to another episode of Groovi Tuesday. My name is Paul Church from Clarity Stamp here in the UK. Hope everybody's doing okay today. Another Tuesday comes around this week's come around really quickly. I know I always start off, I waffle at the beginning just to let people find me and pull up a chair and grab a coffee or a cup of tea or an orange juice, whatever beverage you prefer. So I shall have a little sip of my coffee. I can see some eyes coming in, and no doubt Stuart is in the room with you today. So if you have any questions, I'm sure he can answer those for you. There we go. Good morning, Lynn, Glynis. Welcome, ladies. Good morning, everybody. And here you all come. Sue. Good morning, Ken. Lorraine. Hot, sunny Estepona. It's quite warm down here. Over here in Kent today. I mean, it's sort of sunny, but it's a little bit overcast. This should be my text message. Sound is great. Thank you, Stuart. So that means we're good to go and everybody can hear what I'm waffling on about to start off with. So good morning, everybody. All these lovely familiar faces and names all popping up. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Tuesday again. Have we had a bank holiday this week? No, it wasn't a bank holiday this week. I seem to be all out of sync since the previous bank holiday. And yeah, sort of backwards and forwards to TV. Yeah, lots going on. So hope everybody's well. And yeah, what's the weather like with you today? So we know it's sunny in Estepona. It's sort of sunny but overcast down here in Kent. And I'm sure we'll get some good morning from a chilly Northumberland. Good morning, Coral. So, yeah, it's lovely to see where everybody's going. It's raining in Cornwall. Oh, I thought Cornwall was always meant to be nice. I haven't been there for many moons. I think it was when I was at school. It was an activity holiday. Went to Bude in Cornwall. That was lovely. Been raining in West Berkshire. Jane's watching with Ziggy today, your daughter's puppy. Oh, they're adorable, aren't they, when they're little puppies? So, right. So I've got a few people coming in now. So welcome. Good morning from Canada. Wow. International today. Lovely. It's nice. See, I think that's the clever thing now with technology and social media, with the different timelines. People can tune in at different times, and if you don't manage to catch us live, then you know that you can always go back on our YouTube channel and watch all of the previous episodes. And you could spend hours and hours and hours going back and just looking through, see what we've all been up to. From YouTube Tuesdays to the Shack episodes, doodling, colouring, Pergamano School, Groovi Tuesday. There are so many videos on there. And they're all free, which is fantastic. So I thought while we're just all pulling up a chair, because we're still early, it's only sort of, I like to be early to the party. So I thought what we'd do is just have a little recap of the past week and the week ahead, and it just gives people a chance just to get comfy. And so last week on Create and Craft, I launched a brand new one-day special with some beautiful nested lace dies, 5 different designs. And for some of our I was going to say, no, I won't say it. Some of you who have been partying for a while and you've been on the Groovi bus for a while may be familiar with the designs. And they started off as the beautiful lace borders. So we had these 4 beautiful designs. And I remember working with these back in the day, and we had to work out how to go around corners and how to create a lovely corner. So Barb said, well, why don't we make it easier and bring out a border, a corner. So you can see here, this corner ties in with that one. This one ties in with that one. This one ties in with that one ties in with the top one, and then you've got a bonus corner there as well. So we established how we could obviously have a square, create a square frame or a rectangle, create beautiful decorative borders and edges on our pieces. And then the demand was there, say, oh, we want to go around circles. So you can manipulate the design to go around circles, but you need to do it roughly. And there's a lot of what we class as registration marks, because you don't want to trace it all out and then find you get all the way around the sides of the circle that it then doesn't meet or the gap's too big. So then we came up with the 4 circle designs. So we've got those two, and those two. So it's the same design. So these are our nested lace Groovi plates. So these were being showcased on Create and Craft last week. And you can see you've got all the different elements to them, the different sections. And as we know, don't we, that from using the Groovi system, they're not just 1, 2, 3 different layers, because you can take all the intricate parts and pick and choose. And then Barb had the idea of, let's turn them into dies. So last week on the craft store, not the craft, Create and Craft, we launched the lovely nested square lace doily frames, or lace frames, and there's 5 different ones in the collection. Now, do I have a favorite? That would be telling. I think they all have their own uses. Okay, so let's have a look. So this is the doily frames, and this is what you'll get if you just cut them out. Now, for those of you who tuned in last week, you would have seen that obviously how you can achieve this. This is the waist if you was to cut them all out in one go. Okay, then we've got the toppers, again, using the waist. When you think about it, the whole idea behind it was these beautiful lace designs. And just by sort of, it wasn't by chance, there was planning that goes into it. We don't just say, right, let's do this. There's always a thought and an idea behind it to give value for the design. So we have this one here. Then we've got the lace fan frames. Really, really nice on that one. And so you've got 3 different frames in each of the designs, and then you have a little element. This is the waist on this particular one. More waist on the same design. Then we have the fancy frames. Look at that. I'm sure there's a way of paper piecing that one, but I haven't had the time or worked out how to do that one yet. That one. Then we have the hearts. So these hearts go inwards. It reminds me a bit of like wrought iron on this particular design. Then the waist on that one. And then finally the heart set 2 with the hearts pointing outwards. So they were there. So there's always a story when we bring you designs. Whether they've been illustrated by Barbara, by Mel Turner, Tina Cox, Linda Williams. There's always a big thought process that goes into designing, and it's all original line art as well. Let me just pop those over the side. So, and it's also giving the value of money, and the Groovi gives you the value of the money, being able to pick and choose. And then the dies just replicate that as well. So I hope you managed to tune in last week. So do you want to have a look at a few samples that I did of the demos? Just give a few more minutes. So this combines the Groovi element with the dies. Okay. Look at this, the parchment poppets. So that's taking the square and then just offsetting it to create like a circular design in the middle. Then we've got more Groovi combined with the same design. I love this one. Very simple, but very effective. And I think that's one of the things with the frame dies and any frame in Groovi as well, that it just adds that finishing touch to it. Then we've got another. I love this. This is so delicate. This is did I cut this one? No, this is on the rainbow paper, but it looked beautiful in the parchment version as well. This was one that I remember. This one, you open it up. Look, I haven't even finished it. That gets stuck inside. Time just runs away when you're doing TV. Oh, there's the other bits. I wondered where those bits had gone. Oh, that was, remember I cut that one out and it went all skew-if. But hey ho, it's all about showing that what we can achieve and have a play without, yeah, just having a play basically. Right, I think I've waffled enough for this morning. So I think we shall carry on with our next part of our journey with the Queen Elizabeth plate. Did you finish your bookmark? Did you do all your picot cutting? Did you leave it without the picot cutting? This is my piece that I finished off in the bookmark sleeve. It's coming on this camera here. And I went, really, a bit of glare. And I went in and I picot cut the rest of it. Because remember, we only finished half of it. Let me take it out of the sleeve. We'll definitely be able to see it in more detail. There we go. So, where am I going? So by picot cutting, it creates those little apertures for the colour of the rainbow paper. Ooh, a bit blurry. Coming through. Let's stick on the overhead. There we go. And just very simply, so we started this from start to finish, didn't we? We had a little bit of white work. And as I've said over the past few weeks, the beauty of the Duet grids is that for me, they're like a 3-in-1, because you have the embossed part, you have which works on its own, you have the perforated part, which also works on its own, and then combined together, you've got another design element. So I thought today what we're doing, we've created a card, we've created a bookmark, and I thought we would go with a coaster. And to show how, let me bring the plate in so that I can explain as I waffle around. There we go. So this is the Queen Elizabeth plate. Okay. So in our, let's put it this way, in our card, we extended the design. Okay. So we took it exactly how it was on the plate and then extended it to make a rectangle. So it doesn't have to be a square, it doesn't have to be a rectangle. Okay, so we did that. Then after that, we then showed how we could extend it just in a straight row. For edgings on cards, we can use it in the bookmarks, we could use it in Jane's frame. There's so many different ways, etc., on how you can use it. Okay, so that's what we did there. And then I thought what we'd do is we'd have a look at how we can shorten it. So if you wanted to do a smaller piece, there's a few tips and tricks, because you don't want to get carried away in relation to doing the design, because you've got to include this corner. And I thought that was worthwhile showing, because we've covered 2 areas already, and to show how to shorten it to make a smaller panel. Okay. So what we're going to need for this morning, let's bring our bits and pieces together so we can have a look at what we're going to need. So we are going to need our plate mate. We're going to need our nested squares from the starter kit. We're going to need A5 clear parchment, or you can go coloured parchment. Definitely want our Groovi guard, some Groovi tabs, tumble dry sheet, our number 1 and number 2 tool, and our Queen Elizabeth Duet plate. Now, if you're working with one of the other plates, we can adapt it in the same format. Okay. And we're going to use the coasters, because I thought this was a really nice finishing piece, because we can use the bookmarks that we've done and also the card. So it's all like a gift all in one. And so this is what we're going to need to get started with. So I'll give you a chance to get all your bits together, and then we'll carry on and get started on that, because there's some really good tips on how to shorten it. Okie dokie. Sorry, just had a mouthful of coffee. Throat's got a little bit dry. Okay. So, have you got all your bits and pieces together? I'm sure you have. You're probably more prepared than what I am. Okay. Right. Goody, goody, goody. Okay. I was having a practice this morning to work out exactly how to do this, because as Barb said, being the bus driver, you've just got to be that one step ahead. And we could do it live on air, and we could do it and then go, oh no, that didn't work. And however many people were in the room following me, and you've all done it wrong. So it's good for me to go wrong first. My wrong bits are in the bin. Okay. So to get started, we're going to start off with our platemate and our nested squares. So we're going to pop that into our platemate. And remember, what I find is easiest is if I take the width of the parchment and I line it up with the width of the platemate, centralize it with the plate, and then I know if I need to go back in, then I know exactly where to position my parchment. So we're going to take our Groovi tabs. I'm going to put one, before that, what I want to do, rewind, move your platemate out of the way, take your piece of parchment and wipe with the tumble dry sheet, and wipe both sides. If we do this now, then we won't need to do it later, and it'll be harder to do it later if we do any perforating. Okay, let's try again. Reposition, Groovi tab. I put some hand creams on it. Hand creams? I put some hand cream on earlier because I've been picking and packing orders. So my hands look a little bit dry around the edges. So apologies for that. But as a result, I can't pick anything up. They're not oily, but this is where the Groovi guard will help. Now, because we're going to use the coaster, I mean, you don't have to make a coaster. You could just create this as a topper. It's just a suggestion on what we can do with the piece that we're creating. Okay, so I know that the one that we need to go for is the 9th from the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what we're going to do is we're going to create our frame first. So I prefer to turn my work when I'm doing the squares or a straight line. For me, I just, rather than go all around getting all your hand get twisted up, it's just easier to do it that way. Okay. And this size works perfectly. Okay. That's job done, really. We'll create our frame. That will fit nicely inside our coaster. Pop that over the top so you can have a look. Woo. Fingers and thumbs. There we go. Pop that on top, maybe. So that sits perfectly just inside the coaster. As if it was designed to fit. It wasn't, but okay. So the most difficult part on this one is just a little bit of thinking. Okay. And it took me 3 attempts to work it out this morning. So you've got the heads up that you won't make 3 attempts to go wrong. Okay. Another Groovi tab. Now, because I've got a little bit of movement in my plate, in the plate mate, all I'm going to do is take a Groovi tab and hold it in position. Okay. Now, positioning. Doesn't matter what way you work with your plate. For me personally, I tend to go with the embossed part in the top left-hand corner. It's just my preference. Now, when it comes to positioning the square on the plate, the embossed line, I will zoom in a moment, the embossed line needs to sit. Let me zoom in now. Hang on a moment. In which way am I going? See if I can, how close I can come in without it going out of focus. Because this is the important part, really. All right, this is going to, when my hands come in, you're going to think it's a, I'm not going to say it. Yeah, right, okay. Let me bring my hands in slowly. Ooh, big hands. Right, so what we're going to do, the line that we've traced from the nested square needs to sit on the outside of the double line. Okay, so if I bring that in slowly, and I'm fine on the left, and excuse my head for a moment, I'm just going to come over the top slightly. There we go. So that is now positioned on the outer part of the double frame. Okay, and it looks, it creates sort of like an optical illusion. Not an optical illusion, but sometimes you look at it and think, "Ooh, is that right?" Maybe put my glasses on, that might help. I'm going to take another Groovi tab and hold my parchment in place. Now what we're going to do, we're going to do the four corners first, okay? Because if we are slightly off, then we can tweak it slightly, okay? So I'm going to use the number 2 tool from the starter kit, okay? And what I'm going to do first is I'm only going to emboss. I'm pressing into the dots, okay? And I'm just going to go up to that second line. And then I'm going to emboss the rest of it. So in a way, we're creating the registration marks. But what it also means is that we haven't spent the time going all the way around the edge. Because if you look here, the pattern goes further than the square. So it's knowing how much of a leap, where do you need to go? Would I stop there? Would I stop there? And myself, I've sort of got carried away and carried on and then gone to put the fourth corner in and I haven't got enough space and it just throws out the pattern. So this is a really good way of just practicing and having a play. Okay, so we'll put the first corner in place first. Who's doing this at the same time? Or is you just watching and then you'll go back later and have a go? See, I've already, just that one little step in front. And to make sure that I went right, that I wrote on the piece of parchment, outer part of the double lines. Because initially I put it on the first line and it was too small. Then I went on to the second line and it was still too small. So going just on the outside of the line gives me that perfect positioning. Okay. So we have our first corner in place. What we're going to do now is lift up our parchment, and I'm doing everything with the number 2 tool. And then I'm going to spin it round. I'm going to remove these Groovi tabs because these Groovi tabs are new, so they cling straight away. Okay. So now it's the same position, And we've now got the extra bonus of this part over here that we've already traced out, lining up with the pattern. Okay. So we get that in place. There we go. So that's now, just spend a little bit of time just looking, making sure it's nice and straight, because we've got the lines along here to help us. That is weird. Not weird. It's how it's been designed, that they just slot back into place. Okay. So I'm going to grab my Groovi tabs to hold it in place. Ooh, scary hairy arms. But I think it's important for me to come in close so you can see. I'll try not to reach over. Oh dear. Lots of coffee required today. Number 2 tool again. And we're just going to do exactly the same. It's repetition, but it can really make, ooh, that was a high pitch. It can really make a difference if we want to get it right every time. So I'm going to repeat exactly where we've gone, or where we've been. I'm going to put that one in as well. Now I could get confident and do that bit, but I'm not going to, because I need to make sure that the other 2 corners are in place first, because that would be a little bit disappointing, to say the least. Okay. Okay, so here's a question for everybody, just out of a matter of interest. Everybody that's watching today, okay, and there's a few of you, it's lovely to have your company. Who belongs to any of our Clarity Craft clubs? The Groovi Club, the Stamp Club, the Die Club, the Stencil Club? 1 club, 2 club, 3 club, 4 clubs? Go on, let me know if you belong to the club, how many clubs you're in. Because there's so many fantastic benefits to being in the craft club. Not only do you get a beautiful project, or double-sided project, for the product that we send out each month, but you get your club discounts. Oh, like here it all comes. Groovi Club, me in the club, everyone's in the club. Club. There we go, Groovi Club. Jill's in 3, Stephanie's in 4, Elizabeth just renewed 3, all of them. Wow. Ken, are you really in all 4 of them? That does surprise me. 2 clubs, Groovi Stencil and Stamp. Wow. Fantastic. It's so nice. Yeah. Who's new to the clubs? Who's just joined up recently? See, for me, I mean, back in the day, before I joined Clarity, I used to belong to the Stamp Club. And I think some of my back issues are ones that were still had the old photograph stuck on. And it was a one-off flat fee, but you paid up front, and you got it was like Christmas once a month. But now, obviously, as Clarity's grown and Barbara's grown, not literally, obviously, you've got that option now of paying for it up front, or by paying it for monthly installments. Jacqueline, it's your first year. Well done. And we were talking about earlier about if you're new to the YouTubes, to the Groovy Tuesdays, the Shack Shacks, the Craft Alongs, the Moments of Clarity, there's a full library available on our YouTube channel. But did you know we also have lots of back issues as well available on the website? So just because you've joined maybe for the current year, maybe this is your first time, and you think, oh, I wonder what previous months were. you can log on to your account and you can go into the back issues and you can see the stamp, the stencil, the die, what we've done in the past, and they're all available to purchase as well. So you may look at a design and think, I like the look of that one, and you can just purchase it. I mean, I've got a couple of them here, just by chance. I had a little magic fairy came in and leave them because I forgot to bring them in earlier. So let's have a look at two of the particular group, especially Groovi designs. So we've got issue number 62 and issue, oh, let me zoom out. That was help, wouldn't it? I guess because I came in too close, didn't I? Can't see anything. There we go. Woo. There we go. Have a little breather from putting those corners in. So you've got your beautiful A6 square baby plate. This one is so popular, the little snowdrop one. And then we've got a bouquet of tulips. And if I'm right, Linda's designed that plate. Linda also designed that plate as well, Linda Williams. And what you get is beautiful pictorial. Not only do you get a picture of the beautiful card, but you get a list of ingredients and you get a pictorial and written step-by-step project. Wow, look, I've never seen this one. I've picked it often for orders, but I've never actually looked at it. Wow, that is stunning. And then you have a shopping list on the back as well. Wow, that's, oh. So that's one project, and then you turn it over. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, this one's by Dee. Wow, that's gorgeous. I love the colours. Look at that. Beautiful. So, as I say, we have all of these available as back issues. So, as Barb says, like with the Groovy Tuesdays and the Shacks and tutorials, don't think that you've come in halfway through the film. You've got loads of back issues that you can have a look at. Let's have a look at this one because I haven't seen this one either. I'm like, it's like Christmas has come twice for me. Look at this one. Beautiful. Really nice. This one's by Barb. Wow, I like that. That's really nice. So if you look at the backing paper, so this is where the designer papers really come into play, because if you choose your backing paper first, then you can colour in to match. So we've got that. Beautiful. Look at that. A little bit of white work and shadow embossing with the light panel. Lovely. Shopping list on that one. And then this one by Linda Williams. Gorgeous. And you can create this. You really, really can. With just a little bit of time and patience. Beautiful. Those tulips. Maybe I need to investigate some of these back issues myself. So, yeah, really, really nice. So that was just giving you a heads up. For example, if you are new to the club, you may not be aware that there's lots of back issues. I mean, we're up to 60. This one is 62. I can't remember what the current issue is at the moment. It's just been finished and it's going to print today. So that'll be winging its way out to you next month, which should, fingers crossed, everything goes back, should be going out to you next week. So, and it's great to, sometimes we need that little bit of inspiration. And if you have them all stored in the folders, you can just flick through and you can look at the design. I've often said it, have a look at, sometimes we forget what we've got. And so sometimes to go back and look and you think, oh, I like the concept or the layout of that particular design, but maybe it'd work with this particular design or it'd work with that particular design. But there's so much education in them, the tips and the tricks. And for me, the photos work really well. So yeah, and if you're not a club member, then maybe want to join. Having 12 Christmases throughout the year, well, 13 if you include the proper Christmas. But they are beautiful little, give it as a gift for somebody. Mother's Day, but what a beautiful birthday present that would be. I know some people do it for their children or their parents, like their mum or dad. They'll sign them up for a subscription. And so it's like a birthday present that keeps on giving throughout the year. I think that's nice. Every time they get it, they go, oh yeah, it's my birthday present. It extends their birthday. So yeah. And that's just a Groovi one. That's without the stamp, the stencil, and the die. So, right. Okay. Let's carry on putting our next corner in. So we've got 2 corners in place so far. I quite like that. See, this is where, for me, the pattern building comes in. I really like just that on its own. It reminds me of those old arcade games, you know, the black screen with the yellow, the monsters, not the Pac-Man. There was another one. What was it? Space Invaders. That was it. That's what it reminds me of, Space Invaders. Okay, so we've got the next one in place now. Let me zoom back in again so we can see this in close detail. So there we go. Okay. Oh, certainly getting my stretches in today, reaching up to the camera. Groovi guard because of the hand cream. Number 2 tool, and then just repeat this corner. Okay. Oh, it's great to see so many people in the club, so to speak. And I think it's nice to have the choice of the 4 different strands with the stamp, the stencils, the die, the Groovi. But you may be new to the Groovi system. You may have recently jumped on board thinking, oh, I didn't know about the clubs. If you sign up to our newsletters, then you'll be kept up to date with everything that's going on at Clarity Towers, when we have special events, when we have sales. We have a member sale twice a year, exclusive just to club members. But we often have events online, maybe over weekends. We tell you about all the TV shows coming up, all about the Shack, the Clarity Matters blog, where the design teams do a fantastic step-by-step every Sunday using Groovi. It really is worth signing up if you haven't already. I mean, we don't bombard you with emails. We just like to keep you informed. Okay, so this is the 4th corner going into place now. And I'm happy that I'm in the right position. Okay, and the reason being is because this bit here lines up perfectly. And look, just by chance, this one here lines up perfectly. So I'm happy now that I can complete the rest of my design. So the registration, just by doing, let me just lift that off so you can see. Just by doing those 3 corners, and it's always the 4th corner that can throw a little wobbly. But hopefully by using the nested square as our guide and the double lines on the Queen Elizabeth plate will help us get it in the perfect position. So let's line that back up. That goes back into place there. And as I say, I'm confident now to complete the rest of this corner. Anyone got that far yet? Have we got a matched corner? I need to put my glasses on. Eyes have gone a little bit fuzzy. I do need to make an appointment at the optician's. I think me and Barb should do a double booking, see if we can get any discount. Because I'm sure we both need new glasses. can't remember last time I went to the optician. Oh, I do know last time I went to the optician, I ended up with glasses. I thought, oh, I got a note for it. Oh yeah, just come for a routine eye test. Yeah, okay. It's only when I'm working close. I don't need it for long distance, don't need them for driving. It's just when I'm working. So I've got like varifocals, and they took a bit of getting used to. But, and it was also when I was doing when I do TV shows, I look up at the screen and it was just all blurry because I was concentrating on what I was doing. So it took time for the eyes to readjust. So the glasses definitely helped on that front. But I only tend to do it like when I'm getting in really close, like I am here. But I mean, this is going to be a beautiful little coaster or a topper. The choice is yours. You might like it and think, oh yeah, I'm going to put a little picture in the inside. Or I wonder if the little, I think it'd be too small for one of the little parchment poppets. So what else have we got coming up at Clarity Towers this week? Okay, oh yeah, busy week ahead. So we have, where are we now? We're Tuesday. Well, of course we are, Groovi Tuesday. So on Thursday, back in the Shack doodling with the birds with Barb at 10 o'clock. Then at 11 o'clock, I'm on Create and Craft with the Pergamano show. And we're going to be looking at Josie's PTCs, the parchment trading cards and coins. And we're also going to be looking, because I'm on at 11 and 3 with the Pergamano show. And we're also going to be looking at Tina's floral and rosy doodle frames and borders. And they come with a fantastic II book, which are great for giving you, as it says on the cover, ideas and inspiration. So we've got those for the 2 hours on Thursday. So that's Create and Craft, 11 and 3. So straight after the Shack. So you can have like a double bubble of chilling out and not doing anything for 2 hours. So we've got that, and then I've got an extra hour at 5 o'clock with some of our dies. Yeah, so I've got that. So that's on Thursday. Right, okay. Make sure we've only got a little bit to do now because we're just filling in now. We're completing our, I was going to say circle. I've got circles on the way. Completing our squares. I'll show you the designs. You may think, ooh. So they were designed by the lovely Tina Cox, who will also be back on TV in a couple of weeks' time with some brand new designs. Some lovely little baby plates, but I'm not going to say anything on that just yet. We've got plenty of time to tease you and give you a little sneaky peek of those designs. But I'll give you a little sneaky peek of some pieces that Tina's created with her floral doodle rounds. I think they're floral doodle circles, floral doodle circles, floral doodle borders, and then you've got floral rosy doodles. Or is it just rosy doodles? Oh, I can't remember that. I'll have a look in a minute. Concentrate what we're doing. So that's the third side. And now you'll notice that I'm always going back and just lining up with that corner every single time. And look, it all slots. Well, it would do, wouldn't it? Because we got it in the right position. Okay. And we're just going to complete. So that's the week ahead. We've had a look at the week gone by, did the 1 day special and the Groovi and the die. So that's the week ahead. Obviously on Sunday, we've got the Clarity Matters blog from the fantastic design team. So always check that out. Bookmark it on your web browser. It gets updated at 8 o'clock every Sunday morning. Grace looks after the Clarity Matters blog. And on Saturday, she does Saturday Share, where she shares people's artwork that she's found on Groovi Worldwide. Okay. Have I completed my square? Let's have a look. Yes! Take my glasses off now. Excuse me. Let me get rid of these Groovi tabs because it's going to stick and catch. And I'm likely, the way things are going today, I'm likely to rip it. Okay. Let's pop that to one side. So now we have a beautiful little square topper. And if I take one of the coasters, it says this was open earlier, and now it won't open. Hang on, there we go. So if I take that now and pop that over the top, see? Isn't that nice? And we can do that. I'm doing it in clear parchment, and you could do it in the designer parchment, you could do it in the rainbow parchment, but just to just to showcase for demonstration, for me it's easier just to do it on the clear parchment. Okay, Chris almost matched up. Butterfly or bug will cover it, but you know what, honestly, Chris, 3 times it took me to do this morning. So if that's the first time of doing it and it just doesn't match up exactly, do it again. You'll probably get it second time. I had to work out exactly where it needed to be in order to show you. So yeah, 3 times. Third time I got it right. So don't be put off by it. It's all about, you're going in cold. I've gone in warm. This is the 4th time of me doing it now. And because I have to work out exactly what it's going to do. So yeah, so I mean, if you got it right first time, fantastic. But if you didn't, you know what? It's not the end of the world. It's a piece of parchment. So like that puppet, it's a piece of parchment. So it really doesn't matter. But I love the fact that you can take a design, you can take it exactly how it comes on the plate, turn it into a square, into a rectangle. We can use it as a border strip, and that could be as long as the piece of parchment is. There's no limit to it. Or we can go small. But when we go small, those little tips and tricks on how to do that can make the difference. So hopefully I've shown this morning how you can, what's the word I'm looking for? How I can make it easier for you to achieve what we're heading for. Does that make sense? I don't know whether I'm just waffling now. Brain fuzz. Okay. What's that? Margaret says, it's going to snow. I've got it right. Oh dear. So we were talking about Tina's doodle. Okay. Let me start by showing you a couple of pieces that Tina has created. That I'm going to try and replicate one of these on Thursday. Okay. I'm going to replicate, but I'm going to change it slightly. I'm going to show what Tina's done. Tina's done some beautiful artwork where she's done loads of picot cutting, some white work. I'm going to keep it simple so it doesn't matter what effect. You'll get the overall effect, but it'll just be different, if that makes sense. So let's have a look. So we have this piece here. Let me zoom out a little bit now. And I think this works fantastically with the Northern Lights designer paper, the bubble one. I've always loved that one. So creating a quartet of rings and using all the different elements. Okay, then we've got this one here. So it's taking the nested square extension frame, you know, like Jane's frame, and infilled it. I showed you that the other week using the Queen Elizabeth, how we can infill that. Okay, so that's another beautiful piece of artwork from Tina. And then the final one is this one. I love this. I mean, I love them all. So I'm going to replicate this, but without all the picot cutting. Okay, because it really is achievable no matter what stage you're on that Groovi journey. You can definitely do this. Okay, and it combines the borders and it create and it's teeth back in, creates the circles. Let me show you the plates just to put it into context. Okay, so we have the doodle borders. I mean, look at how many designs are on there. You know, we was looking at the nested lace designs. There's even more on this one. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 initially. And then when you break it down, that can be split up, that can be split up. You could just do the flowers. Yeah, there's so many when you get to play with them. So that's the borders. Okay. And then they each have a coordinating, let me get this one right. So this is the A5 square plate. Okay, so that's so you can see that you've got the design elements there. You got, I love these fancy little roses. So we can see if I take, no, it's not this one, is it? No, it's the other one. So that goes, that's a pair. Okay. And then the other one, bring that one back in, is this one. Okay, so we've got that one. So you've got the design elements from that. So we've gone round in a circle. We've got the straight lines. So if I bring the card into play, okay, we can see, if I turn that over, the frame has been infilled with this one. Then that frame around that edge has been taken from the other border. Because it's Tina style, they all mix and match. And then if I grab the plate from underneath, place that on top, that fits perfect. And you've got the built-in ring. So that other one we was looking at, this one here, about the positioning of the circles, it's already there for you. It's on the plate. Okay, so we've got those. So that's what I'm looking at on Thursday. And then in addition to that, you've got Tina's Floral Doodle Collection, the II book, Tina Cox and Friends. So if you're new to Groovi, you think, oh, what's an II book? So we do some II books, and what it does, it gives you, there's another piece there by Tina Cox. It gives you a layout, what's been used, and then a step-by-step on how you can recreate it. Now, you could take this particular design from that plate and swap it out with the design on the other plate. I'm not going to go through all of them. This one by Chris, another one by Tina Cox, and this is using the alphabet from the Art Deco border plate, mate. How do I know that? Because it's on the list. Okay. Beautiful look by Karen Jackson. And then you get like a highlight of focusing on a particular technique. Look at that, Glynis Whitehead. So this has 24 different projects in there, okay, which you can, I mean, you could, this will be great also with the nested lace designs. You can take some of the layout ideas and use it with that as well. So just wanted to showcase that. That's on Thursday on the Pergamano show. Okay, let's pop these to one side because I'm going to need those later. Pop the book back into place. Okay, so has anyone else completed their square? Go on, let me know. Or are you going to have a go later? No. Oh, dear, I can't believe where the time's going again today. With Groovi, for me, what about you? Does time just disappear when you get in the groove and you just go with the flow? Does it just think, oh, is it dinner time? Oh no, it's tea time. Missed dinner altogether. So I thought what we'd have a look at now, we've completed our inner panel. Okay, so that works perfectly as a design in its own right. Okay, you don't have to add the perforating, you don't have to add the picot cutting. You could just go exactly with that. So I thought what we'll do next, we'll do a little bit of white work now. We'll do 1 or 2 layers of white work. And then next week we can go in and do the perforating, because we need to be careful when we perforate, just the same as we need to be careful when we create the square. Okay, so if I take a black mat, let me just grab that out of there. So I'm going to go with the black mat that comes in the starter kit. You can use your pink mat if you choose, if you have one of those. And then I'm going to take a poly bag, so a bag that the plates come in. And this is going to act as a resist whilst we're working. And what I'm also going to do, I'm going to take one of my Groovi tabs and I'm going to pop it just there, okay, to show this is where I'm starting. And if I go clockwise, when I get back to there, I know I've completed 1 level of white work. Okay. Now for this, I'm going to use the number 3 and the number 4 ball tool. So glasses go back on. I'm going to position this where I need it to be. I want my Groovi guard to lean on. Now for the little circles, do you remember we go up and down, left and right, round and round, or north, south, east, west. I had to think about that one. North, south, east, west. But I find up, down, left, right, up, down, right, left, up, down, left, up, down, left, right. It's just easier to remember. So light pressure, I'm using the number 3 ball tool, up, down, left, right, round and round. Up, down, left, right, round and round. Now, if you're worried that you can't see the circle underneath, then try it with the number 2 tool, okay? But you need to apply less pressure. Because it's a smaller ball tool, let's see if I can come in on this one. Because it's a smaller ball tool, obviously there's less surface area, so the more pressure you put on, it's likely that you could go through it. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my number 3, up, down, left, right, round and round. And then for this one, I'm just going to gently stroke parchment. And we're going to move along. So we're putting like an undercoat or grey work. We're just gently stretching the fibres. Now we did this on the bookmark and on our card as well. Okay. But if you struggle, you think, oh, I can't do that, you can always take a white pencil and colouring on the back. Linda Williams said she's often used a white pencil. So if it's all right for Linda Williams, then it's all right for me. Up, down, left, right, round, round. Up, down, left, right, round, round. And you'll notice that what I'm doing is I'm turning, my hand is comfortable in the position that it's at. Okay. And then I'm turning my work, just moving along. Oh, there we go. See, this is just as my voice has gone now. Voice is not gone. Wishful thinking, I'm sure, for some. It's really slowed down now. It's because, I know why it has slowed down. He says going all high pitched. It's because I've got to concentrate on the amount of pressure I'm applying. See, when I was tracing out the dots, it didn't matter. Okay, because the plate was my safety net. Whereas now my only safety net is the cello bag. So it forces me to concentrate a little bit more. And for some reason, it just automatically slows my voice down. Isn't that strange? More white work, I hear you say. More white work. And because we're creating such a small piece, this is a great piece to sort of just practice on as well. Really, really. So I just love the effect of the white work on the clear parchment. That was the magic of the parchment, that when I saw it many, many years ago, that the effect of how could you get that beautiful crisp whiteness onto a piece of paper. I mean, I didn't realize it was parchment back then because I was only sort of familiar with sort of vellum that had that sort of translucency. I didn't realize that parchment was thicker than vellum, or it was the same material. So there we go. So you can see, and I've got areas of grayness there, but what I've done is I've created the initial underlay just to make it sort of stand out. Okay. So I think what we'll do is next week, you've got a choice. You can either do it as homework or you can do it whilst you're listening to me waffle next week. If we do, I'd say another 2 layers of white work, put this to one side, come back to it maybe this afternoon, and then do another layer. And then maybe tomorrow, do another layer as well. I don't think it will take more than 3 layers of white work, not for such small areas. And then next week, we're going to go in and perforate, because there are a few tips when it comes to doing the perforating on a shortened pattern, because you automatically get carried away with the design and you could perforate where it's not required, even though there's holes underneath, but we've shortened the pattern. So I hope you found that interesting. I know I've enjoyed doing this today, just to show how you can reduce the size of the design. Don't forget, Bar's back on Thursday in the Shack with the beautiful on the wing doodle bird. Beautiful, beautiful. I'll be up at Peterborough, so straight after the Shack. I hope you can join me on the Pergamano show at 11 and 3. And then I'll be back on at 5 o'clock with some of our beautiful dies. So until then, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you all next week. Take care now. Bye-bye.